Welcome to The Unsidelined Life, the podcast that challenges and encourages women to stop denying themselves a full life and to step boldly into the opportunities God is preparing for you. Join me for raw insights and engaging conversations to guide your journey of self-discovery and pursue the life that God created for you. Welcome to The Unsidelined Life. This is Eileen, your host. 2 more episodes before the year is up. This is crazy. Time has so flown by. I'm going to take a break from Proverbs 31. We are on, I'm so tempted to, but I just know that especially as we wind down with this year, I really wanted to kind of get this thing of like, okay, yeah, let's wind down. And then also how do we approach this new year, 2026? Holy cow. I mean, this just boggles my mind. So like I said, I want to take a break, and this episode has to do with how to not freak out. For example, I just recorded an episode yesterday, and the great people at Pod Up tell me that 4 minutes into my second part, so I recorded some of it, had to leave to go pick up kids, came back, recorded, and 4 minutes in, it's muted. So I had to do this whole thing all over. And so yeah, there's just opportunities all the time to freak out, stress out, or whatever. And so knowing that I've had to do this all over, it goes back to that thing that I talked about last week. Okay, well, this is not done to me. This is for me. So how do I approach this? And I kind of looked at it as like, God, did you want me to talk about what I talked about the last, whatever was erased? Maybe you want me to go on a different route. Maybe, so I'm constantly asking God for direction with the podcast and all these things. And so this one, like I said, it's how not to freak out. And I just want to be real. And not that I haven't before, but real as in this, I just walked in from working out. So I am sweaty and think I need, stingy, all those things, right? But yet I'm like, I got to do this. And so in asking God, like, maybe this is a thing. Maybe I should do this after every time I go for a walk, because there's just something about that walk where I feel renewed. I feel refreshed. I feel like effective in the sense I got my workout done. It's that time where I'm talking to God. And so in so many ways, it's just such a blessing. And so I was like, okay, you know what? Like, I don't have time to take a shower. I got to get things going. Let's just get back to this podcast. And so that's what I was asking God. Like, okay, what do we talk about? Do I just repeat what I said before? And how do I end this year with the podcast? And mind you, I will say this. If this is blessing you, can you please share it? Can you please somehow let me know? Can you write a review or something like that? Because the devil messes with me as if to say, just be done. You don't need to do this anymore. I know it's blessing people. I know that I have to say this because God is good and God is faithful, that even when I record them, and then I am obviously given the clips and the things that I have to review. When I hear it, I'm encouraged. So it's like, okay, God, I know that you're behind this. I know that you are faithful to speak to me and to speak through me, just like he wants to do with you. So in this whole thing with today, it was, okay, God, what do you want me to talk about? And so let me just explain to you what the last 3 weeks have looked like. I've had over 20 guests in and out of my home. Family, friends, people that are, my own kids. So, and then different people in terms of guests that are more related to work. So yes, so 20 people in the guest house, on my couches. Some of my kids have had to give up their rooms, which meant they're in our room. I'm talking about the little ones. Just a lot, all overlapping. There was never a time where there was one guest, they left, took a break, and then another guest. It was literally someone's coming in, and there was a couple of days before the other ones went out. And so that meant a lot of food. That meant a lot of mess. That meant a lot of noise. That meant a lot of everything, a lot more laundry, because this is family. A lot of love, though, and a lot of gratitude, and so much. So even in saying that, it's just like, gosh, it's all about perspective. It's all about like, how do I approach this? So in this kind of situation that was for sure at times stressful, messy for sure. So sometimes I don't always connect stress with mess. But it was just a lot of busy. So even in that, busy doesn't always mean stress, but the more busy you do get, the more, at least for me, the more stress can start to come from that. But that's really how it's what I'm actually going to talk about, which is kind of just utilizing my time as part of it. So I started this coaching program, and it is Healed Mom, Restored Home. I probably go more into that next week as I kind of go into the year of review, I guess. But I know this much, that it does start. There's a role and a position that God has given us, that because of my healing this year and because of all that God has done in me, this was the time of all times. This was the time where he said, all right, Eileen, now these people are going to come to visit. Now this is where you can have guests. Now your home is ready, not just your physical home, but your spiritual home. Now your home is ready that you can host them. Now I'm going to be working on different family dynamics, different, situations with my husband's kids, grandkids, my kids' girlfriends now. So there's like so much in this mix, but it was God saying, in which I knew he told me, Eileen, I will not give you more than you can handle. And so in that, I have so many blessings for you, but you have to take care of certain things before I give them to you. And so in that process of my own healing, which led to freedom in so many areas, which led to better relationship, better conflict resolution, better appreciation, different perspective, all these things, to where it's like game time, really, if I can put it in that analogy. It's like he's given me this playbook, he's trained me, and now it's like, okay, game is on. And so that's what's been happening in these last 3 weeks. Had my best friend over here with her kids, so that meant more of taking advantage, because I don't get to see her often. It's now just once a year, where it's okay, how do I make the most of that time that she's here, so that I'm not doing my own thing and she's doing her own thing. And so it was really taking advantage of making sure I get my work done, so that it's more of the vacation with them, taking my kids out of school sometimes to hang out with them. So all these different things. And so I'm bringing all that up to say that because God did a work in me, the fruit of that work showed up not only, and I want to bless you with all these people and all these things going on, and that your home is, peaceful, and that it is what he told me. He said, I want you to create an environment. I want your home to be a sanctuary of my peace, my glory, and my presence. That's what I knew that God was saying. I saw the fruit of that. And so in that, though, in the blessing, there's also, scripture says, to whom much is given, much is required. And a lot was required of me. And in the midst of that, it was, like I said, lots of food, but just a lot of stuff. So anyways, I won't say any more, other than I want to share with you tips on how to not freak out. Because as this airs, this is going to be, I believe, the day before Christmas. So we've got one more week where It's going to be a lot, social gatherings, whatever, whether you do something on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, all the things. There's still time and opportunity to either freak out or to not. And so I will, as I said, I have this program where it's Healed Mom Restored Home, and I talk about this makeover in your spirit and your soul and your body. And so I'm going to give you different ways on how to not freak out in those different areas. And so I will talk about how to approach the soul, meaning a relationship with God, that kind of dynamics. That really, it starts there. God says, seek him first and all the things will be added. So if you're not starting there, there's just going to be crack in your foundation, or you're just going to be off. There's the compass, there's the anchor that I believe starts with God and his word. And so I will give at least 2 to 3 things that you can do in each area so that you can avoid the freak out. The first one, again, has to do with your spirit. I've mentioned this before, and we have an enemy out there who will always do what he can to discourage us, distract us, or deter us. I said that in one of the last podcasts. And he'll do it. He'll find a way, right? He'll find a way to do it in a way that where he can get to you personally. So for me, he used the very thing that was working for me. So I'll say that, and I've talked about this, is I get up super early. And what I do is I'll go in the kitchen, I'll start my coffee, I'll light a candle, I'll put on praise music, and I'll start cleaning up. So I use that opportunity to clean in every way, just to tidy up, to start my morning again with coffee, to be able to create an environment of praise in the home, so that in every way, physically, it smells nice, it's clean, there's worship music. That's a part, there's prayer. That's a part of creating this environment of the sanctuary of his peace, of his glory and his presence. And what I would do is I would tidy up, and the coffee or the water boiling was my timer to be like, okay, done. And I would, I would get my water started, and I would put it on a low simmer and wait till it heats up. So I'd give myself more time, because, I could turn it on high and it could boil like that. Right. But I didn't. And so I just kind of keep it on low and just wait. So to have more time to tidy up. Well, I will say this, that my house, especially compared to before, is very, very clean, relatively speaking. And for the most part, it is. And so I'm seeing that it doesn't take long for me to just tidy up and do different things. But I noticed lately, and especially during this time, one, there has been more mess because of more people. But even as it was winding down, or if in the morning there wasn't much mess, I would find other things to do. And I found myself not praying as much. And I can say this much, that if you're a believer in Christ, the word of God is important. That's your food. That's your spiritual food. And I have not been doing that. I've just been running around, and I'll do the candle. I'll pray a little bit. I'll clean up, and then it's on the go. And I got to get the kids to school, and I got to do all this stuff. And I could see how that's wearing on me. I could see that my attitude is different. And so when it comes to your spirit, you have to be intentional. You have to position yourself to hear God, and you have to be honest with God. And there's more to that, but those are the 3 things that I realized, that as I come to this point this morning, as it's quiet. So all the kids are finally at school. They got a couple more days before vacation. All my guests are gone. I've got one coming in a couple hours. And so in that like breather, I finally took a walk, and it was just like, I wanted to, I didn't, I think I started listening to something, but I wanted to cry, and I did a little bit, and it was just not tears of stress, nothing. It was like, just tears of relief, and tears of like, okay, I'm not busy, that whatever may be going on in my body and things, the stress or whatever. It's just like, I could just breathe and I can just cry, whatever kind of tears. It's not sadness. It's not anger. It's just like relief. I don't know. I can't even describe it, but it's just, okay, I can be still. And so I'm seeing as I was on my walk, I'm realizing that I have to be intentional and disciplined with my time, that I need to be aware, the devil's always going to try to do what he can to sway us, distract us, or whatever. And so the very thing that I did that was good turned into just time away from God. Number 2, I have to position myself to hear God. One book that I started reading, and I'm not totally done yet, but it is Atomic Habits. I'm sure you've heard of that book. Great book. But one thing that stuck out to me, and one thing I remember leaving it on, was the fact that there are certain places that are meant for certain things. So he was talking about, which I love, talking about order and the functionality of things, or having systems in place. And the thing about that is, you don't want, like, your bed is for sleeping. My office is for working. I have my area of me spending quiet time with God, and that's my sitting area. That's the one place that typically is clean. It's quiet, it's peaceful, it's neutral. There's no distractions. And because my kids have been in there, that some of them have been sleeping in there, I've lost that place. And so that whole thing of, okay, I need to position myself in an environment that is only for this. So yes, I had to maneuver a little bit, but that's what you do. And so when I'm talking about being positioned to hear God, being positioned to spend time with God, how does that look for you? Do you have a certain place? Designate a certain place. Designate, generally speaking, a certain time that, this is my time with God. This is my place with God. That you are protecting it. Also, Charlie Kirk, I just watched the video, and he's so spot on when he said this. And I knew it because I remember thinking that a long time ago. I was super adamant to not have my Bible be only on the phone. I was like, nope, there's something to that. There's distraction there. And I want my physical Bible, my book, my paper, my Bible, not just the app. And I'm here at this point where, for the most part, again, actually, because of this time, which is different, I do have my Bible, but lately, because I haven't positioned myself, I have been using solely my phone. And so when I usually wake up in the morning, I will typically not turn on anything. I'll go downstairs, I turn on my worship music, and I'll go right back upstairs, and I will spend time with the Lord, and I will open up my Bible. But I haven't been doing that, and I've just been doing the phone. And what happens when you use the phone? Oh, there's text that comes through. There's those red notifications, Instagram, Messenger, Facebook, all these things, to where the time that I'm supposed to give undivided for me hearing God and me spending time with God and me just sitting at his feet is taken away because I have not positioned myself and disciplined myself to say, okay, no, this is just the word. And so I need to discipline myself to go, okay, journal, Bible, prayer books. That's me. That's what I do. That's what I know. It helps me to feed my spirit, helps me to hear him better. It helps me to just get away from all distractions and all places of work and tidying up and just sitting at his feet. That's what he desires. And that is what we need to really, I know for me, I don't know about you, but for me, I need that to function and just to be a vessel for him. And then to be honest with God. This is the first one. Again, there's so many more, but there was a time Actually, yeah, I was talking to one of my clients and we were just talking about, you know what? Like, just sit, just do nothing. Don't feel you have to, pray a certain way or journal or read. Just sit. And being honest with God was, as I was telling her this, I had to do the same. I said, you know what? Like, take 15 minutes in the morning and just see what God wants you to do. And I knew that I had to do that. So I stopped everything, went outside, and I just sat. And I'm like, God, like, I need you. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to do, but I need you. Like, help me right now. Help me to slow down. So I had my moment. And again, it wasn't like anything, no major fight, no major drama. It was me just needing to just sit at his feet. And so to be honest with God and to sit with God and be like, hey, God, this is where I'm at right now. I need you. That's a great place to start. So again, starting with your spirit, that means seeking him first, knowing all things will be added. It is being intentional. It is positioning yourself to hear God different than any other place, and then being honest with him. Okay, getting into the soul piece. So when I talk about soul, I am talking, I forgot who gave me this definition, but soul is different than spirit. The soul, as I refer to it, is talking about the mind, the will, the emotions. In that, of course, there's just the relationship dynamics. And so when I have thought about this time and thought about like all the situations that happen, what do I learn? Because I've definitely had moments where it's not been well. What do I learn from those things and how do I approach it differently, or what has worked for me? And so in this time, with all the stress, the things that I have learned work well for me that keep me from freaking out are these three: be humble and apologetic, be thankful, and be gracious. So be humble and apologetic is 1, be thankful, and 3, being gracious. So be humble. It happened today, and I had to acknowledge it. As it's just like anything, when you're running a race, you get tired, you get fatigued. And so in this race that I've been running, this race that I've had all these guests coming in and out, I was feeling it. And like I said, just not spending time with the Lord, not taking a breath. I can tell that my attitude toward my kids, it's like I'm getting on them and I'm going, this is totally a reflection of me right now. And I had to, as I was telling them about the different things, I had to come to this place of saying, you know what? It's me. I'm guilty, because I was talking about spending time with God and spending time with his word and seeking first his kingdom. And I said, I'm guilty. I'm guilty because I have not been disciplined. I've been letting scrolling and Facebook be the thing that I seek first. I have not been catching myself doing, or I've not been, I've not been like disciplined with that. And so when I say not been catching myself, like I typically, if I do that, go to the word, go to prayer, but I've caught myself and I'll still go, I don't feel like, doing anything else, and I'll scroll and I'll waste time. It's such a time waster. Not that it's all bad, but man, sometimes if you don't lead, you're going to be led. And so in that acknowledge, I had to humble myself and say, guys, I'm guilty and I'm sorry. And Lord, help us, so I had to pray and I had to be apologetic to say, guys, sorry that I am, irritable, more irritable than normal. And it took the honesty and the transparency and the vulnerability to say, hey guys, I screw up too. Like just as I'm encouraging you to get it right, I have to get it right myself. So be humble and be apologetic. 2, be thankful. There is so much to go to say, shoot, this is not right. And there's a mess over here and they left this out. And now that my kids are in my room, my laundry is totally piled up that I literally can't even walk to the bathroom without stepping on clothes. That's how my life has been in the last couple of days. And so there are so many things people are up late. There's so many things to be complaining about. But there's also so many things to be thankful for. In all the people that have been through my home, I've had a blessed time with my best friend and her kids. I've had opportunity to meet one of my husband's daughters, who I met her once for a hot second, but we've been able to spend time with her. And so, gosh, there's a bigger story to this, but when you're thankful and when you choose to look at what is good, I'm seeing God's redemption and restoration in a relationship. I'm seeing God bringing healing to our family. And I'm seeing that in the midst of times, if you are remarried, you understand how hard it is. The times where, in my own wounding, I will say that the devil wants me to easily go, done, just quit, all those things, totally being real. That God has shown me, Eileen, there's so much of a bigger picture in your life than what you see. And so being thankful has allowed me to see restoration of relationships. It's allowed me to embrace and be thankful for the fact that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 additional daughters. So I have stepkids in there, and then I have another, I guess, in-law, right? And then I have 3 grandbabies through my husband. So there's that to be thankful for. So in the midst of all the things, and so I'm bringing this up because this is stuff that's happening through the holiday season, that I get to have a heart of, or have the opportunity to have a heart of thanksgiving. Not only for that, but to see my boys and their relationships with their girlfriends, to see that, wow, God, thank you that I get to use this house for people all over the place all the time. My son had a bunch of people over. So he asked me if he could have his Bible study, his college Bible study here. Of course, I'm going to say yes. But after coming home, hoping to go to sleep, and because I was so tired, it was 9:30. I'm pulling up in the driveway, and there's cars everywhere. And to think that I walk in and I got a bunch of college kids in their PJs because of Bible study and because of fellowship. Wow. Like, God, thank you. So I could have been like, gosh, I really want to go to bed. There's messes all over. There's food all over. There's people still loud. But no, I chose to be thankful. And there's something just about that. So being thankful, and then being gracious. Be gracious with yourself. I had to be gracious that, you know what? I have not been able to go grocery shopping for the longest time. People are eating whatever they can scrounge up. Beds aren't made. Laundry is piling up more than normal. Be gracious with yourself, even in those times where I've been irritable, even when I've not handled things better than that. I haven't handled things the way that I was hoping. Even those, be gracious to yourself and to other people. Be gracious to your family. Be gracious in these situations. Be gracious with the dynamics of things just not being ideal, and being flexible in that. So be gracious with yourself. Be gracious to the circumstances that you're in. And I believe that when you do that, there'll be less freakouts. So again, soul, mind, will, emotions, relationships, be humble, be apologetic, be thankful, and then be gracious with yourself. And third, the body. When I talk about body in terms of this dynamics, or in terms of, the season, there's food all over the place, and there's just a ton going on. There's a lot of social gatherings, things like that. So when I say body, not only am I referring to like the physical body, but just all that goes on when it comes to food, when it comes to exercise, that kind of thing. And so 3 things that I believe that will help you not to freak out is, 1, with your body, take advantage of the morning hours or do something that relieves your stress. If you need to go get a massage, if you need to get your nails done, if you need, which this is what I do, pounce on and just try to get up a little bit earlier. I believe that there is such precious time and opportunity and treasure in waking up early, where you can get things done, where you can work out, where you can go for a walk. Test the walking. Try it. Don't feel you have to be a certain speed or something. Just go and see how much of a blessing it is to do something like that. So number one, do what you need to do to relieve stress. I'm saying this and I'll go back to it. 2, take advantage of the morning hours, and 3, be a food snob. So again, do what you need to do to relieve stress. It all goes back for me, and I believe my audience is seek first kingdom of God. Do what you need to do to relieve stress. If you need to go outside and cry, go cry. Going for a walk, like I said, is a big help. Do something that fills you. That's super important. Get away. Do what you know what fills you. You know what brings you joy. It could be that you just go out for a walk, or that you go for a drive and you turn on praise music. Could be that you go to a movie by yourself, take an exercise class, something to where you just have time for what you want to do. Find a way to release stress. Find a way to just get refilled. It could be that you just go get yourself coffee and that you just hang out at the coffee shop. Something like that. Again, number 2, take advantage of the morning hours. Like I said, I referred to this before. You don't have to get up 2 hours before everybody like I do. But I can tell you this much. Man, that I've seen more now than ever, the beauty and the blessing of that. I've been having a couple of late nights with friends and all the things that are going on, to where I'm like, I just got to sleep in. Those 2 hours where I do sleep, or I have slept, oh my gosh, there's so much that doesn't get done. And I can tell how precious those hours are, whether it is quiet time, or getting a couple loads of laundry in, or just getting to things that I haven't gotten to, or just time where no one is calling for mom. As a mom, I'm sure you know it. There's something about that. Oh my gosh. I say this, that it feels like I have sometimes ADD forced on me. Like, I can be having my schedule, I can be on a roll, I can be like thinking this is how my day's gonna go, and text from one, text from another, a call from another, one over here that's home when I'm home asking for, breakfast. So many things, my husband needing something. So to know that there's time available, that no one is calling me, and that I could literally sit and be at peace, that is so precious to me. And so test that out. So take advantage of the morning hours. And then lastly, when it comes to food, a couple things with this. Thankfully, and this is what I'll state it then. Thankfully, God has helped me through that I've lost, and it's not about the weight, but I know for me it was about 10 pounds, the last 10 pounds, right? Because I gained it, the whole menopause, perimenopause, all that stuff. I am now at a comfortable place, and I refer to this in my program, my coaching program. I'm at this maintenance point. So it took a lot of work. It took a lot of addressing what issues I had. I had to get my hip surgery. I had to go back to working out because I wasn't working out because of my hips. I had to figure out my whole eating. There was just different things that, it was hit or miss. Why was I bloated? Why, I'm trying to do all the right things. And it was such a puzzle. And so at this point now, I am finally at this place where, like, I look and I think, gosh, I am comfortable with me. I'm at a comfortable place of me, which has to do with nutrition. It has to do with drinking water. It has to do with exercising. It has to do with, food choices, discipline, and things like that. And so one thing in regards to food, this goes over the three of each area. But I call it being a food snob. There are certain things that I put, like, these are my go-tos, or not even go-tos. These are like, I won't say no to this because this is my favorite. Tiramisu, that's my thing. I love tiramisu. And so if I'm going to have a dessert, it better be that or dark chocolate. If it's anything else, I am not going to settle for something that I just go, it's okay. So I have to get back into that. So there are a couple things. Yes, if I'm going to be a food snob, it better be something that is worth it. It's worth the extra, whatever it is, worth the extra calories. So tiramisu, dark chocolate, which is why I don't keep those in my house. So if it's not that, there's a couple other things, then it's an automatic no. Nope, it's not worth it. I'm a food snob. All this like grocery chocolate, chalky milk chocolate doesn't cut it for me. And so it's a no. And so a lot of things can come through my house where I'm like, no, it's not worth it. Get to that point. Be a food snob. And then secondly, and I will say this and not mention this before, but one thing that has worked for me, it is a product that I'm taking, and I don't typically do this, but I have to say that this has worked for me. It is called Raretra. And I will actually have links this time. But I started this over the summer, and it has done wonders for me, and it has kept me in this maintenance place. And so I'll say this, that after working out for months and knowing that there was benefits, knowing that I was, like I was healthier, I was stronger, there was still a place where I just felt like, gosh, why is my body holding on to water? Why is it that anything that I eat, I'm so sensitive, I could feel like I was just bloating. And just, I felt like I was strong and I was gaining muscles, but it was under this layer of, And so I started taking this product, it's Retro Rise, there's now different flavors. I started taking this product, and one, it helped me cardiovascularly, and I thought it was psychological, but I was like, oh my gosh, I just feel better working out. I felt like I had more energy. I stopped with the naps. So I didn't realize that this was helping me in so many ways, where I was like, go. And I didn't notice it because it wasn't like I've had other products where I feel the jitters, and I feel that even at some point I would feel dizzy, and you feel that caffeine. I didn't feel any of that. And so there was not like this a sensing there was something different. I was just going. I was just energetic. And then another thing that I noticed was when I had my period, which I still kind of do, I wasn't bloated. And when I ate food, there was grace. Like I would eat bad, and typically I would gain a lot of weight, and I could tell, I could see it in my face. I could see it in my love handles. And now at this maintenance point, and I'm dropping those extra pounds, I'm at this place where when I take that, I just feel like I there's something gracious about that I'm good, in the sense that there's been times where I'm eating more, there's more stuff coming through the house, and even still, it's like it's not anything crazy to where I'm just like, shoot, I've fallen off the wagon. And so there's just something to that, where I feel that I'm in this place of maintenance, that, okay, yep, you're eating bad, let me get back to things. And because of this Raretra, I've maintained it. I have definitely, I don't eat nearly as much, and I just don't crave certain things. So I was meaning to, I asked a friend, like, I'm at the place with this where it's like, oh, I know what it does, and I know certain things. There's green tea, there's green coffee extract, there's moringa, there's turmeric, there's all these great things, which if you look, there's a lot of things that are out there. But the beauty of this one is that I don't have to schedule it, because a lot of them are take this an hour before your meal and this and that. And so I'm just not good at that. And so for me, this has been a blessing where I just take it in the morning. It's been a huge help. So I will say that has been such a big part of it. I will leave a link this time. I think that it would be worth a shot for sure, not only with losing weight, but there's so many things. I'm just gonna have to leave a link to where you can see the benefits of this product. But I just wanted to, throw it out there. But I have to say that has been a big help in allowing that space of food to not be something that would cause me to freak out, that would cause me to stress out. So I hope this helps. We've got one more episode. I hope this helps, that you're coming into this holiday season where just in the last week and then going into the new year, that you're thinking, okay, that you're looking at this going, okay, these are different tips. These are things where I can have a better outlook, a better perspective, a better attitude. I can have a better approach to this season and beyond. So again, I hope it helps you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year almost. And I will see you next week. Bye. Until next time, love well, celebrate your strength, and discover the new things you are capable of. You are a light in the lives of those around you, and no night is too dark for you to find your way.